WTBQ.
Good morning and welcome to Creative Media. I'm Allan Ross, president of AJRoss Creative Media. We are live streaming on Facebook at www.facebook.com/AJRoss Creative. Again, www.facebook.com/AJRoss Creative Media. Oh, boy, I'm having a hard time. Anyway, for more than 27 years, we've helped businesses, both large and small, grow their market share and brand awareness. In the coming weeks, we'll have a variety of guests giving their insights, discussing recent trends, and sharing personal stories about their marketing experience. We also would like to hear your point of view and answer your marketing questions. So call us at 845-651-1110. Again, 845-651-1110, or you can text us at 845-397-7743. And again, you can stream us on Facebook on our Facebook page. Today, I have Matt Ross and Carlos Vega here. Before we start, let me read the quote of the week. All right?
All right.
Marketing is telling the world you're a rock star. Content marketing is showing the world you are one. Robert Rose. Who's Robert Rose? You found this quote.
Yeah, Robert Rose. He's pretty much an expert in content marketing, author, speaker. He's got some pretty interesting point of views on how to use it in marketing and its effectiveness.
Okay. So, what do we want to talk about today?
Well, I think your quote leads perfect into it with, content marketing is a huge thing a lot of people hear about, and they don't fully understand it. And one of the aspects that we've been finding most companies are just sitting on, valuable information most companies are sitting on, is white papers.
Now, what is a white paper?
White papers.
It took me a long time we just did a whole bunch of them, but
white papers and case studies, they're pretty much similar. It's showing results for a product or a service. So a lot of times when you're, putting out a certain product, you'll do test runs on it, you'll measure it, how effective it is, or case studies, same thing. You'll be looking at a service or something you did for a client, and it's pretty much what the challenges were, what your solutions were, what the results of those solutions were within it. And a lot of companies just store these in files, or they keep them in their head for when they're pitching other clients or talking to other people about their services or products.
The bottom line is, how is this going to help them with their marketing and getting new clients?
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of people are just sitting on this, because where white papers are effective is it's almost like testimonials. Testimonials are a great way for somebody to brag about you and tell the world how great you are. Well, white papers are exactly that. They're actual results based on a problem that a client came to you with. So that's very valuable to share with everybody out there. And there's so many mediums you can use nowadays, between online, between printed materials and all this stuff, to not tell people how great you are, but show them the work that you did, the problems you faced, what your solutions were, and at the end of it, what were the results? Because that's what every client cares about.
And more importantly, content for SEO.
Content for SEO, yes.
Yeah. Matt?
Yeah, like you said, this can be included in all your marketing materials, basically. And like you're saying with SEO, not only does having a white paper function as an informative piece for the people who are reading the page, but it tells Google that, hey, you're a trusted resource. It pulls, for search terms, you can optimize these pages. So if you want to get found for certain terms, you can optimize your SEO on these pages so that people can find them, for any terms you're looking for.
And when they're Google, I'm sorry, Carlos.
No, interactivity was another thing Matt and I were talking about.
Yeah, when people are Googling a certain subject and you come up as an expert columnist, that's what it does. Sometimes, then they'll read it and hopefully, you become an expert and they reach out to you. Because that's all I've been hearing from our SEO people. Content.
Yeah, and content marketing is a huge thing right now that a lot of people don't understand. They think a lot of the misconception is content marketing is about just putting stuff on social media or posting videos or whatever it is, but it's really about telling a story. And you have to plan out what that story is. It can't be scattered. It can't be, here's one concept, here's one thought, here's another. It's really about thinking about what your company does, what the company does well, and then showing that to people in as many mediums as possible. And search engines are really rewarding people for that today. And people are more engaged because today people have a very short attention span.
See, I like to call part of it case studies.
Case studies are the same thing. Yeah.
So explain to me actually what a case study is.
Case study is the same thing, except where white papers tend to be about something that's more
A subject.
product based,
Yeah.
you know, or some kind of testing of some sort. A case study is typically done within services. So, for example, us, if we go out and do a job for a lawyer and we use a set of our services, maybe it's creating a new website, the new brand, social media, some other things like that. Our case study could be on how we rebranded that company, what the challenges were when they came to us, what we did to solve it, and then over time measuring the results of how effective it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's when we go after clients, we send them to our case studies, or we send them the case studies. Matthew?
Yeah, and this is something that, shows how it benefits more than just a testimonial or someone giving you a good review on Yelp or something like that. Because, like you said, you can control kind of like how this is shaped. It's much more informative. It shows you the process, the reasoning why you took the steps that you did, and then the result where like the result is that you get this great testimonial. You do a good job, So it's the full package. Whereas just the testimonial or just a review is kind of just one aspect of this whole.
And those can be included along with, a case study or a white paper.
Right.
And, the one thing you always talk about is kind of that old school way of doing business and engaging people face to face. Well, a lot of what we're talking about is what people would kind of talk about in a meeting, or if they're meeting somebody for drinks or dinner and they're talking about business. Well, you talk about what you've done in the past. Even in pitches, we've done that. Oh, well, what kind of success stories have you had? And we go through this kind of stuff. And a lot of it's just sitting in business owners' heads or their staff's heads, or it's in a file cabinet somewhere. And this is something they need to take out of their stories and put it to paper, put it on the internet, and really let it go to work for them.
You know what I think it also does too, Carlos? It shows that we could be trusted, the client can be trusted, because here are what we did and here's the results, including what the client did and what they asked us to do and what they're doing. So it shows trust. It shows
Builds brand awareness.
Exactly what's happening. It's not fake news.
We won't go there.
We won't go there.
It also it gives the reader an impression of like the style of the company, the flavor, like what kind of personality we bring to the table, and our methods, and just beyond the point of like, oh yeah, we did work, it's great work. It also brings like, okay, here's what it's like to work with us. Here's our whole vibe.
We're working on 12 of them for one of our clients.
Yes, right now. Yeah.
And they needed one like for a trade show, real quick.
Trade shows are a great time for that.
Why don't you explain what we did for that one product? We're doing 12,
Yeah,
which are going to be
12.
12 of 60 coming up,
Yes.
which is a good
Yes.
thing. So,
Well, like we were saying, there's so many different ways you can use these that people aren't taking advantage of right now. For this one client in particular, we created landing pages for it within their website. We're building these out to where they can be interactive, and Matt can talk about that even more. But along with that, for a trade show, we also developed a printed piece that complemented it. It has a little bit of a different look, a little bit of a different feel, but it's collateral pieces that they can take forward, not to just this trade show, but also, just moving forward, they could put a series of these together to clients.
yeah.
Or potential clients.
Yeah. Landing page is real important, Matt. Putting it on a landing page, again, that's SEO.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, content is king. And if you can separate the work that you do onto a specific landing page, it's great for search engine visibility. Gives you, that extra step. And, you can add a lot to these white papers. If there was a video included in this project, you can add that. Any materials moving along the way, even like parts of the process, like, oh, we built the logo, do a little piece on that with the steps to get there.
Technical data, PDFs.
Right. Yeah, do any interactive PDFs. You know, there are even you've probably seen them online. The interactive PDF where you swipe through it and it reads more like a magazine, so it feels a little more engaging to the reader as opposed to just the line of text that says we did a good job.
Excellent. Actually, we're building our own page, aren't we?
We are. Right now, it's just become such a demand that people are finally catching on to it. We're going to be building out a section of our website for this service specifically.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's something that's really, really helping a lot of clients out there.
Well, it's another thing that we bring out for our clients, and it just keeps them on track with what's going on now. Yeah. It's an everyday thing. So,
it's also something that can happen over time too. You can add a new white paper now, add another in a couple of months or in a year. You know, like as the projects keep coming, you can keep working on them, keep adding them to your portfolio, which is another great thing for SEO.
I have to still mention, I get a kick on. We're on Facebook. If you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/creative media.
AJRoss Creative.
AJRoss Creative.
I'll
have you do the opening next time. It's just so cool to have you guys here with me. We're going to be doing a lot of this and making, we're going to give advice to our clients and to other people, and it's just cool to have you guys in front of us. Okay, we're going to go to a break, and we'll be right back. This is WTBQ, and this is Creative Marketing.
AJRoss Creative Media is the premier marketing, advertising agency, web design, and social media company in the Hudson Valley. AJRoss connects their clients with prospective customers by generating powerful marketing and advertising concepts. Meet with the AJRoss team and you'll walk away with a new and innovative approach that'll bring your company to the next level. Contact the AJRoss team and set up a free consultation and get started with the best. Visit AJRoss.com.
Hi, I'm Rockin' Richie Arnott, calling the play-by-play for the Warwick Wildcats every week, right here on WTBQ.
And I'm Dan Bolger, color commentator along with Rockin' Richie, broadcasting every week for the Warwick Wildcats.
Check the Wildcats football schedule out at WTBQ.com and listen in and cheer on all the players and support their proud sponsors.
Leo Cadis Ford, Hennings Farm Market and Garden Center, Warwick Valley Telephone, Sealy and Derlin Insurance, Tortuga at Breezy Point, and Middletown Medical.
WTBQ. Hi, this is Allan Ross again with Matt Ross and Carlos Vega. We're Creative Marketing, and we're from AJRoss Creative Media. If you need to reach us to have a consultation, which is no cost, you can reach us at 845-783-5770, or you can go on our website at www.ajross.com. We really don't even have to say www anymore.
No. A lot of people even cut it out of their marketing now.
I think I'm going to have to stop because I'm getting tongue-tied in my old age. Listen, you sent me an article yesterday, Carlos, and it was written by Steve Jobs.
It was about Steve Jobs.
About Steve Jobs.
It was people that were close to him, and he gave a lecture at a company a couple of times, actually, and it was this one point that resonated with everybody, to the point where they brought it in. It was the CEO of now LinkedIn that was talking about how he'll never forget the one thing Steve Jobs said to him. And he brought it into business nowadays. And that's such a simple concept, but prioritizing things. And the one thing apparently Steve Jobs, however you feel about him, was brilliant at was focusing on one task at hand and really learning how to say no to all the distractions that were taking away from what that goal was.
I do that, don't I?
Sure you do.
I'm trying.
Yeah. No, you've gotten great with it over time, but it's really a practice and focus. Your company has certain goals, but every day we all know you get 50 things that come in, whether it's phone calls, it's little things that need to get done, it's questions that other people have, or things that take you off track from getting your work done for a client, building your business up, or, you know, getting those goals achieved in a timely and effective manner and really putting everything into them.
Yeah, not everything that you work on is directly focused towards that goal, where the goal is like, that's what you want to achieve. And obviously you want to do whatever the work is that's coming in, but you really want to kind of focus on the ultimate goal there.
Well, we have like 5 or 6 projects ongoing right now. Will it be done by the end of the day?
Sure.
You know, I was thinking about Steve Jobs when you brought this up, and Linda and I went to North Carolina in Franklin, not where it's the northwest part of North Carolina, and it's a rural town, and they still have phone booths. I know there are phone booths around, but I saw them, and I started thinking about when I was in the city and I was in the music business, and I always had to keep up with, did I get a call for a job, or is there a session, or did a client call? And I used to have quarters in my pocket, so I used to have 800, and then you get a free call, whatever. And I remember, you know, I'm walking down 57th Street, must have called 4 times, because that's, you know, when you're a freelance person, that's what you think about. When's my next job coming? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about the iPhone. And I started thinking, my God, I couldn't do without that. You know, I mean, everything is in that phone. And it was, you know, from what I heard with Steve Jobs, a lot of his people, his engineers came up with ideas, but he came up with the process, the idea, he's the Thomas Edison of this era. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of guys, you know, no matter how you feel about them, that definitely fall into that area where they're helping to evolve a lot of little everyday things.
Bill Gates too. I mean, with
Bill
Microsoft.
Gates, Elon Musk. You know, again, eccentric. They all actually, you know, getting back to our point, talking about eccentric and other things. One of the things in that article with Steve Jobs, he was always famous for wearing those black turtlenecks. In that article, it actually said the reason he did that, he wore the same outfit every single day, so it didn't detract from his thought process. He didn't have to think about what to wear. That didn't take away from time of his focus on what was important to him or his goals.
But it was also his brand too.
It was his brand.
Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
black. That was his. I dress in black.
But it just shows you how dedicated to a concept somebody can be. Those little minute things we take for granted, like, oh, I get up to, you know, go pick out an outfit or make lunch or whatever it may be. You know,
clarity
there's a lot
of
of
vision.
focus. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it doesn't matter how you dress, but what the message is. But it's good to. Well, that is a message, dressing nice, but it depends on where you're going.
Yeah, they say dress for the job you want,
Yeah,
but
he was a tough dude too. I
Yeah.
mean, I heard
not very popular sometimes.
But who cares? I mean, you know, he had a vision and he wanted it done. If people couldn't do it, he found people who could do it. You know, I happen to have the two of you that you've been with us for a long time. You know, but we've had some people.
Yeah. But, you know, a lot of this just ties back nicely to what we've been talking about all day, is just tackling that one thing in your office that you don't even realize you have. You know, if you can take a little time, or you don't understand what, you know, content marketing is, it's a very daunting thing to try and take a step into. This is a great first step. Take those stories out of your head of what you did for clients, your success stories, you know, the testing that you did on certain products, things like this, and just start with creating maybe even white papers you have filed away somewhere, or writing them. And then speak with an agency, or if you have one, how can they start to make this into marketing materials for you? Add it into your website, add it into a printed piece.
And it's an investment because we don't have time to write all those all the time. So we have Lori, who's a copywriter for us, who's wonderful. I mean,
nobody has time to do that stuff within their own business.
Well, that's why you have to hire people who do that, you know, who are really good. The client likes them. They're quick. And we've been very lucky with her.
We have. She's been fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, we've used Kristen Jensen, who's wonderful, but Kristen's busy. She's a marketing director, and she's foundation of the Catholic Charities. And
Orange, Ulster, and Sullivan.
Yeah. So.
And something else that we were talking about during the break is that, you know, just the process of creating these white papers keeps you in touch with old clients. And you never know what kind of work might come out of that. You have this good relationship with them. You've completed jobs. Things have been successful. There might be work that they have on the back of their mind, and as you're kind of like going through this information, maybe reaching out for that quote from them, they might realize like, hey, we need this new job to be completed, and here you are.
And real quick, we have a couple minutes. This is kind of getting off point, but again, I was in North Carolina. People have to talk out when they hire. For example, my brother-in-law, we were staying at his house with my father-in-law and sister-in-law, and we're watching TV on a brand new smart TV, and it's like 3/4 of the way. And I'm saying, what's going on? Well, we don't know. And the Wi-Fi wasn't working very well. And I said, have you called Frontier? Have you called DirecTV? Nah. I called them. I think the Wi-Fi was 4 out of 10. Now it's 8 out of 10. I called DirecTV. They were using a 15-year-old cable box, and we reordered that. You're paying money. You should get what you pay for. And it's if your agency isn't doing what you want them to do, tell them why. And if they're not doing a good job, find someone else who can. I know this is off point, but this came to
but
my
it still
mind.
ties into it because, an agency needs to bring ideas like this and look at what you have around you. It's not just about creating something new or doing what we always do. It's what do you have as a resource around you that you can take advantage of? And
make sure they are a voice for you too, so.
And, one other topic before we, get too crazy with this that, I don't want anybody to overlook if they're going to dabble into content marketing or using white papers is organization. And what I mean by that is before you get too overloaded with all these white papers and you don't know what to do with them, or too many landing pages and you don't know what to do with them, create some kind of organization system within websites for ourselves. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll create it almost in a blog format. Mm-hmm. It can have, different identifiers, a search feature. This way you can add as much as you want and it never gets overloaded or confusing. You can easily find information that you need within your website.
I have a really good idea how people can do that.
Oh, well, you have to share it.
Call us and we'll do it for you.
There you go.
Anything else you want to talk about today, Matthew?
No, I think we hit a lot of points. Just kind of continue on with what you were saying, like something that Google does and other search engines is they pay a lot of attention to how many times your website gets updated, how often. And if you are updating your website regularly, they will, they'll tag you and say like, hey, this is a good resource here. It's not just this thing sitting out on the web with old information. Because something that we notice is that you put a bunch of great content up and you feel good about that, and then you just let it sit, and then suddenly it's 2-3 years later and you say, oh, actually, you know what, even though this information is still relevant, we have 2 or 3 years worth of content that is really important to get out there. So for that reason, adding these new white papers as time goes on, these new case studies, testimonials, keeping up with your website is super important for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And even outside of Google and all that, I know you're a big fan of Flipbook.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
But
yeah.
companies like that are feeding in this content.
Yeah.
I found a bunch of articles we've done or stuff for clients in Flipbook and other
Really?
places. Oh, yeah.
Very
so
cool.
all these organizations, these news and resource organizations are looking for good content, and they're just pulling from you.
So Flipbook's an app that you can download. If I think it's Mac, you have to be on Mac.
I don't know if it's Mac only, but I know it works on Mac.
And you can have different magazines that they show you of design, marketing,
It's just different topics,
financial. It's different topics, and it's updated. I go home and I look. I try to get you guys to look at it too.
No, I use it all the time.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's where I
okay.
found the Steve Jobs article.
Oh, cool. Oh, is that where you found
That's
it?
where I found it.
They don't tell me anything anymore. Okay. So we're close to being done. Next week we'll be coming on. We still don't know but I like this. What I would also like to tell people, if you're a marketing director or you're a CEO of a company and you want to come on the show and talk about your company, how you're marketing, give us a call. give WTBQ a call or give us a call at 845-783-5770, and we'll get you on as a guest. We're looking to have different guests who can give their input and their expertise on how they market their company. How's that sound to you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to learn from that.
Yeah. So we have a minute left. Anything that you want to discuss before we leave?
I mean, kind of just continuing on with that, just talking about marketing kind of brings up all these ideas. You know, even just sitting down here doing this radio show has been really great for spitballing like new concepts. Like, you know, I feel like it might have even lended to us working more on these white papers and things like that, because you realize you want to get in touch with the client and you know, be a good resource.
It also teaches you a lot about a client.
Yeah.
You know, it helps you understand them, and that's what makes marketing even more effective.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have 1 minute left. It's good to have you guys here today. We'll probably do this again next week.
And we'll be posting some more on our website and social media about
also,
white papers and
and
everything
go
else.
on our Facebook and see the show live, and we'll have that on Facebook. And real quick, what do we do with these shows when we get the MP3s and everything?
Yeah, so we created a brand new YouTube channel for ourselves called Creative Marketing, and we're posting all these shows.
Okay.
You know, just as a nice little piece with MP3, so anybody can listen to them at any time.
Okay, well, I think that's it for today. We want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week with Creative Marketing, and this is WTBQ.